that maybe there's a lot of traffic going around. There's noise in the background that they don't hear it clearly. Maybe just somebody comes in and contradicts everything that you just said. There's a lot of things that can happen there. Then cometh the wicked one and catches away that which was sown in his heart. This he which receives seed by the wayside. Now, no doubt this is an unsaved man, right? That the gospel was preached to him, and it says that he heard, but he never received. That Satan would oppose the understanding. Okay? Now, the second one here, it says, some fell upon stony places where they had not much earth, and forthwith they sprung up because they had no deepness of earth. And when the sun was up, they were scorched, and because they had no root, they withered away. Now, this is rocky ground. So this is a person that's a little more open to the gospel, but, do I want the gospel, or do I want to go have a good time? Okay, do I want to live in sin, or do I want to try and live in righteousness? Yep. And, it's a choice. Both choices are an option for them. They're not going to make a decision one way or the other. Yep. Well, when you have a sinful flesh like you and I do, it's going to want sin. And it's, if you're not going to feed the Spirit and you feed the flesh is going to win. Yeah. So, at some point you're going to end up following the flesh. But the seed in this man's heart has to compete with the rocks. And it says there's not forthwith they sprung up because there's no deepness of earth. When the sun was up, they were scorched because they had no root. Now that's important. I'll get to that in a second. Right. They withered away. Now Jesus explains this. But he that received the seed into stony places, verse 20, the same is he that heareth the word, and anon with joy receiveth it. Yet hath he no root in himself, but dureth for a while. For when tribulation or persecution arises because of the word, by and by he's offended. So this is a person that they're not committed either way. They could go with the gospel, or they could go with the flesh. And but it's a competition. They're going to wait and see which one happens. And but there's a growth. But at the first trouble, he's going to drop it all. Okay? So as long as everything is going good, he's content to go along with it. But as soon as there's any trouble, any opposition, whoa, hey, I don't want any part of that. I'm gonna stay what's comfortable down here. Yeah. Now the first one was definitely unsaved. This one, I'm not so sure. It does say he receiveth it, right? Yep. When you receive the gospel, that would be a good indication. But there's a possibility he's not, because it said he has no root. Right. Now listen to this. In Revelation 22:16, I, Jesus, have sent mine angel to testify unto you these things in the churches. I am the root and the offspring of David and the bright and morning star. That Jesus, just like he's the way, the truth, and the life, he is the root. It said they had no root. So this one, I've always leaned more towards that this was a person that was saved, just had no spiritual inclination, maybe ignorance, maybe just rebellion, I don't know. But, that's this one, you make up your own mind. I'm not sure which way to go on it, but there's an indication it could go either way. But here's someone that, could be a professing Christian, but not a possessing Christian. Amen. There's a lot of people out there that go to church and will tell you that they're Christians, and yet they have nothing to do with Christ at all. Amen. That he has no part in their life. They frankly get mad if you bring it up and would rather you just be quiet and left me alone. Right. They'll say things like, just keep it in church, right? Yeah, because that's what Jesus did. He only talked about himself in church and about the Father, Yeah.
Professing?
Some people are professing Christians, but not possessing Christians.
That's good.
It means they profess to be a Christian, but they've never really received Christ. And this is a dangerous place, because you a lot of times in your own mind, well, I go to church. We don't go to heaven because you go to church. Right. But I believe in God. In fact, you don't go to heaven because you believe in God either. Yeah. The Bible says, thou believest there is one God, thou doest well. The devils also believe and tremble. And yet the devils don't go to heaven. Yeah. So it's not belief, it's receiving. As many as received him, to them gave he power to become the sons of God. Man. So how I know? Because before, I didn't become a Christian until I was 26. I went to college, went to high school, all that. And sometimes people say, or where do you go to church? And I'd say, well, I go to the Methodist church. Well, I've been to the Methodist church like 5 times in the last 15 years at that point, you know.